So Glenn, what are your pet peeves, that you're hearing at the heartland of IT? I mean, what's really making you mad? Because I mean, you are advanced in the cloud.
Right, right. Well, we're hearing some of this, what I would consider the same old objections to software as a service or moving your assets to the cloud. The first is security. There's not necessarily an appreciation here that the big software as a service vendors can secure your data as well, if not better than you can. The investments that they've made and the inspections that they've, scrutiny that they've withstood is really, it's kind of the same old idea of outsourcing. Let someone do what they're really good at and provide that to you as a service. I actually, we view the public cloud providers as an enhancement to security, not a threat to security. So we're hearing some of the same, some of the other kind of typical first-level objections to can I move to.
You're still hearing those after 3, 4, 5. I mean, when I got to Salesforce 7.5 years ago, first thing that came up, then integration was the next thing.
Right.
How are you going to integrate?
Sure. And we don't hear it from the Salesforce customer base, but when you come to Gartner and you've got, like I said, a much broader array of IT, every IT shop in the world seems to be represented here. You do have people that have not been in these conversations. They've not seen the successes. They're sort of they're doing things the way they always have done them.
Right.
So security, integration, and I think the idea that there's such a thing as the notion of application development in the cloud is an eye-opener to a lot of folks. They still think of Salesforce as a glorified contact management system, and they don't understand that you can extend and build whole applications that run on the cloud with no server infrastructure necessarily, no versioning. You get to ride on the upgrade. And when I can just sit at lunch and tell the story of we wrote a Force.com application for a Fortune 100 company that integrated with data from the back office, that fed data as web services to downstream systems, and provided a user interface through browsers, through mobile devices, and all of that ran in the cloud. It's a great story, and I never get to eat my lunch because I'm just telling the whole story, and it's so enthralling to people that they don't realize the maturity that this is, the stage that it's reached. It's a truly viable alternative to Java, to .NET, to traditional development methodologies.
That is amazing. I guess the last question I have is, what are some of the most interesting projects your company's worked on or you personally have worked on?
Right. Well,
that you can talk about.
Yeah, when you get in the Fortune 100, suddenly it's harder to get the case study approvals and things like that. But a couple of things. So first of all, Aperio is a product company in addition to a services company, and our products are informed by what our consulting services are seeing in our customer base. So last month, Aperio launched our CloudWorks product line. CloudWorks is an integration broker that lives in the cloud and is really optimized for cloud-to-cloud integrations and common data models, and also a common notion of user-level security. So the CloudWorks product is, what we've seen our customers need. They need more than traditional integration vendors can provide. So we're already building out fantastic CloudWorks use cases internally. Aperio runs 100% of our IT in the cloud. We don't own any servers. We always implement solutions before.
So you're your own best customer.
Right. And so CloudWorks has become the buzz around Aperio. You've got consultants in their 20% time, if you will, writing CloudWorks integrations and gadgets and basically stitching together our own implementations of Salesforce, Google, Workday, and Marketo, and the other SaaS vendors that we run our own business with. Out on the customer side, we are the momentum for building apps on Force.com, as I was talking about a minute ago, has just picked up steam. Where we're now seeing, we have customers now. So the exciting thing, I guess, for Aperio is we have customers now that are doing multi-thousand seat implementations of Salesforce automation and Service Cloud from Salesforce, and at the same time, they're already thinking better. Their vision is extending towards applications and integration. So maybe where a couple of years ago we'd be, the VP of Sales would be the main sponsor of a project. Now we really are sponsored by the CIO, and they know it doesn't stop at Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. Their vision right out of the gate is integration, business value, and innovative applications. So that's pretty wild. It makes for really cool projects that we can throw a lot of different technologies and talents at. Keeps everybody excited, and got quite a number of those going right now. So it's the whole complexion of our customer work has just gotten a lot richer than last year.
That's fantastic. I assume you're hiring.
We are absolutely
Yeah,
hiring.
and you got an office in Japan that you're hiring there, and
we're based in San Mateo. Got about 50 people there, and we have 25 in Tokyo. But outside of that, Apereo is everywhere. I think we're in up to 35 states now.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work in Europe as customers kind of have drawn us over there.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, if you believe me, if you know any good project managers, system architects, particularly with Salesforce.com experience, but really we'll take it.
Yeah, well, don't poach from Salesforce.com. I guess I do have one more question.
Sure.
I always talk about Apereo in the most positive competitive terms against some of the other systems integrators, in that you are the ultra-modern hybrid integrator where you actually make stuff.
Right.
But you're also implementing it, and you are a business partner,
That's
and
right.
you're a partner with us.
Yeah.
I just don't see that. Is that a competitive advantage that you have?
It's absolutely a competitive advantage, but it flows from having a very crystal clear mission statement as a company. Everything sort of you can trace back to that. When we started Apereo, we said we want to accelerate the adoption of the cloud in the enterprise, and we use the term on demand at the time. We said accelerate on demand in the enterprise. Accelerate the Everything traces back to that core mission, so we're not distracted by a database administration management business or other kinds. We don't do CRM of any flavor. So we're all about accelerating the adoption of a public cloud infrastructure, and that leads to consulting services around that, strategy services, introduction of products that themselves are software as a service products that we build and we host on public cloud like Amazon's web services. Mm-hmm. So everything ties into that mission. We want large enterprises to be able to use the public cloud more and more, lower their dependency on infrastructure. So it's allowed us to be pretty broad, to touch a lot of different areas. I think it's a pretty big differentiation from a traditional systems integrator. When we talk about IP capital for Apereo, we're not just talking about consulting templates and that sort of thing. We are talking about that, but we're really talking about more than that. I mean, we're talking about real life tools and integration services and things that you can really use to power your business. It's different than was possible in the on-premise world when we had to convince customers one at a time to install adapters, to install plugins. With software as a service model, the cost of delivery, the friction is reduced to almost zero. So
right.
The opportunity is much greater for us.
How long do you think Gartner will take to get this overall? There's a few good analysts out there.
I think we're still in the early days of general acceptance of public cloud as a viable and a superior IT architecture. So,
especially in the heartland here.
In the heartland, yes, and we're still in maybe the 10-20% adoption or awareness rate, which is exciting for Apereo as a company. We've seen all this growth with the early adopters. Now we're starting to move into the mainstream curve, and the opportunity should only get bigger for a partner like Apereo. We're happy to ride on Salesforce's wave, as you guys have really led you've really been an inspiration, I think, for a lot of companies, and we're happy to follow along with that.
Well, that's good to hear. So Cloud Blog's here with Glenn Weinstein, the CTO of Apereo, and promoting, accelerating the adoption of cloud computing for 4 years, and onward you go.
That's it. Onward.
All right.
Thanks
very much.